Hello everybody. Are you wondering if I'm smiling? I am. I'm so excited to present to you a second grade lesson. Our focus for today under key ideas and details will be ask and answer such questions as who, what, where, when, why, and how to demonstrate understanding of key details in a text. If you have students who are performing at a kindergarten or grade 1 standard, the same standard under key ideas and details will also apply from this lesson. Using the information from our CCSS guide for informational text for grades K through 5, under essential questions and key ideas and details, our focus or essential question will be how can we answer WH questions and support our answers with details from the text. Our focus for vocabulary and key terms will be who, what, where, when, why, how. We will also see some specific Tier 2 as well as Tier 3 vocabulary words within the text. Under tools, we will be addressing 2-column notes as well as under high-tech, providing students with questions while watching a video, discussing in depth after viewing a few times, and you could extend this to have questions on a Promethean board and have students write or type their responses. The resources are Wonderopolis.com and Poplet.com. How many of you have seen a cricket before? Okay. How many of you have heard a cricket talk? Did you know that crickets talk? Well, today's wonder is how do crickets talk? I want you to take this paper and I'm going to give you a couple minutes and just write down your thoughts on how you think crickets talk. I think crickets talk by chirping. Let's take a look at Wonderopolis. And since it's Wonder Wednesday, today's wonder is how do crickets talk? Right here we have a video. Let's see if we can hear crickets talking. Did you hear that? I'm still wondering, how do crickets talk? Let's read some information and maybe we'll find out. Crickets are mostly nocturnal. Nocturnal, what does that mean? Oh, let's see. Belonging to or active during the night. Which means they rest during the day and become active at night. If you've spent much time outside after the sun goes down, you'll know it's then that the hills come alive with the sound of music, cricket music. Though male crickets' music may sound like a beautiful symphony to human ears, it actually serves two important practical purposes for the crickets. It attracts female crickets and warns other male crickets to stay away. I want to reread that section. Though male crickets' music may sound like a beautiful symphony to human ears, it actually serves two important practical purposes. So two important purposes. It attracts female crickets and it warns other male crickets to stay away. So it doesn't just play music. Okay. Many people mistakenly believe crickets' signature chirp comes from their legs, but the only thing crickets get from their legs is hop hop, not hip hop. Look just a bit higher and you will discover it is actually crickets' wings that create their musical melodies. The crickets' wings create their melodies? Wow. The bottom of a cricket wing is covered with teeth-like ridges that make it rough. The upper surface of the wing is like a scraper. When crickets rub the upper and lower parts of their wings together, they create a chirping sound called stridulating. Oh, that's a big word. Let's say that together. Stridulating. I want to reread. When crickets rub their upper and lower parts of their wings together, they create a chirping sound called stridulating. Not only are crickets natural-born fiddlers, they are living thermometers too. Crickets prefer warm weather. The warmer it is, the more crickets will sing. This is why you may notice especially vocal cricket choirs on hot summer nights. If the temperature falls below 55 degrees Fahrenheit, crickets usually won't sing at all. Let's reread that. Crickets prefer warm weather. The warmer it is, the more crickets will sing. If the temperature falls below 55 degrees Fahrenheit, crickets usually won't sing at all. So that means as it gets colder, crickets usually won't sing at all. Some people believe that you can tell the temperature by doing a little cricket calculation. All you need to do is count the number of chirps in 14 seconds and then add 40. The resulting number should be the approximate temperature. For example, if you count 30 chirps in 14 seconds, adding 40 gives you an approximate temperature of 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's double check that. 30 plus 40 equals 70. Right. This relationship between cricket chirps and temperature is known as Dolbear's law. But don't throw out your thermometer just yet. Dolbear's law was based on studies of the snow tree cricket chirp. Researchers have discovered that chirping of the common field cricket is not as accurate as that of the snow tree cricket. Field cricket chirping is affected by factors other than temperature, such as age and mating success. Let's take a closer look of the cricket in the Wonder Gallery. Wonder if I can see its wings. Ooh, wow, look at that picture. Okay. How about this one? You can actually see the wings right there. What do you notice about this picture? What do you see? What are you thinking? What are you wondering about this picture? I created this Poplet, which could be a graphic organizer, but it could also be used as 2-column notes. You'll see that we have our topic in the middle, or our focus question, how do crickets talk? And the WH questions on the left-hand side, which are also color-coded. Let's take a look at the first question. Who is this about? The passage is about crickets. What do they do? Well, the wonder is about crickets talking. Where do they talk? Crickets usually communicate or talk outside in a field. When do crickets talk? Crickets chirp at night. Oh, you know what? Let's add another detail to that. When the temperature is above 55 degrees. Why do crickets talk? Crickets chirp to attract the girls and keep the boys away. So here is what our two-column notes or graphic organizer looks like so far. You can see that I have connected all of the bubbles together because they are all related. The only thing we have left to do is to answer our focus question: how do crickets talk? Crickets rub their upper and lower wings together to make a chirping sound. The chirping sound is also called stridulating. Now let's go back and reflect on what we originally thought. How do crickets talk? I thought crickets make a chirping sound. So I'm going to write, I used to think crickets make a chirping sound. And then I'm going to add, now I know crickets talk by rubbing their upper and lower wings together. Now this is just a sample that I had created, but let me show you a sample from an actual second grader. Okay, now that's more like it. There's the question, how do crickets talk? They chirp in a way, but I know they talk. They chirp because when they try to get love and to warn other men. Here is an example of a WH questions that the kids had written out and then they highlighted. So who do they do it to? They do it to girls. What is this about? It's about how do they chirp? Where do they do it? In hot places. When do they do it? They do it at night. Why do they do it? To tell them to come. And how do they chirp? They rub their wings together. That looks just about right. If you have struggling learners who have difficulty coming up with and answering the WH questions, here is an example of some information that you can talk with through the students and some answers that you can do with them. Just to go back and reflect on our original focus, it was grade 2 informational text. We had written text as well as video and images. So there were 3 different kinds of text in that lesson. And what we did was ask and answer such questions as who, what, where, when, why, and how to demonstrate understanding of key details in a text. And here are the essential questions, vocabulary, tools, and resources, all from the lesson that you just saw. Thank you so much for listening and following along with me. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I challenge you to see if you can think of your own I wonder question and research it on Wonderopolis.org.